Hey friends, this is the Ms. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead, and it is Monday, May 18th, Victoria Day, 2015. Now, Papa's off work today because he works in Ontario, and every other province in the country, as far as I know, celebrates Victoria Day weekend. Quebec does not. The only thing that closes down in Quebec on Victoria Day, pretty much, are anything that has a government office in it. So we've been going hammer and tongs, or Daddy's been going hammer and tongs, starting our edition. Now I want to talk to you about this edition, and I want to talk to you about using credit wisely. Okay, we have a Home Depot card. Now before you get all gaspy and having heart attacks on me, this is how we use the Home Depot card. The Home Depot card is not something you're going to use on a regular basis. Why? Because it's 28%. That is phenomenal. That's over a quarter of your purchase is in interest. Okay? Now, when we use our Home Depot card, okay, and we don't have a huge limit on it, we don't want a huge limit on it, we have a limit that is manageable for us over an 18-month period. And I'm going to tell you why it's manageable for us over an 18-month period. Every year and a half or so, Home Depot puts on a promotion that if you spend $499 on a purchase, that means whatever you buy ringing through the cash register at once. Okay, it doesn't have to be one item, but it all has to add up to $499 before tax plus. Okay, they put this promotion on that anything you buy over $499 before taxes is interest deferred for 18 months. Now, what that means is if you shop at Home Depot and you spend over $499 on your card, you don't pay any interest on that for 18 months. Now the trick is to pay it off over those 18 months. The only way to make using your Home Depot card work is when this 18-month promotion comes on and you have a big purchase to make. Okay, now Papa and I have been budgeting for this. Our Home Depot card is completely paid off, and he's starting the addition because our little sitting room, you can't sit more than 3 people in it comfortably. What we've done is we've taken our Home Depot card because until the end of the day, Wednesday, this promotion is on. We've bought the concrete, the lumber to frame in the footings, the floor joists, and then Papa's going to go back tomorrow and he's going to finish buying more materials. Once this promotion is over, which is at midnight on Wednesday, that card gets put away and I spend the next 18 months or sooner, depending on how good the budget is, paying off that amount interest free. Interest free. So they get you. They do get you. If you forget something in the store and you have to go back and you spend $100 on something and you take it through with your Home Depot card, that $100 purchase isn't interest free. If you rent equipment, which we have done, but I'm going to tell you a secret about that too. If you rent equipment on your card, that's not interest free. Okay? So, and they are counting on people to go poof, interest free for 18 months. They're counting on people to forget that after that 18 months, you're paying 28%. So that's how we use our Home Depot card. And that's the only way we use our Home Depot card because it's really important for us. You know me, folks. Interest rates and service charges make me nutso. Anyway, that's how we use our Home Depot card, interest free. Now, I want to tell you something else. Papa started digging Started digging the footings by hand with a spade. Those footings have to go down because we are in Quebec, and we have to go way down below the frost layer. Those footings have to be 5 feet deep. Okay. Now, the room that Papa's building on the front is not going to have a basement. It's just going to be, it's almost going to be like a 4-season sunroom, but with less windows. He started out and he got blisters all over his hands. And Papa has tough hands, folks. His hands are like moccasin leather. They really are. But he got 2 of the footings dug, and I watched him, and I went, no, we can't do this. So this is when we were planning on going to Home Depot anyway. But this is a long weekend. And in Ontario, now today we shopped at Home Depot in Quebec because it was open, but it's not open in Ontario today because it's the Victoria Day weekend. So here's another thing. Home Depot in Ontario yesterday was open until 8 o'clock. We showed up at 4 o'clock. Today, they're closed. So we rented a digger and a cement mixer. But we only paid for half a day. Why? Because we showed up at 4 o'clock and we're only paying for the rest of the day, but we get it all day today because they're not open. So for paying for a half day, Papa got a day and a half use on the digger, which saved his back and his hands and his heart. And we paid, I believe, altogether, maybe it was $150. And that, for almost 36 hours use of equipment, great deal. So there are tricks. So, some questions. Lisa says, let me first start off by saying we have a funny story around our house. Hey Lisa, what are you doing? My answer, just hanging out with Mrs. V. She's my bestest friend and she doesn't even know it. Thank you, Lisa. Now on to her question. As I'm sure you are aware, not all fruits and veggies are ready at the same time, but we have many things we like to do together, but one is ready while the other is not. So here I am today gathering my first harvest of rhubarb. I really want to make strawberry rhubarb filling, but my strawberries are nowhere close to ready. This made me think about your apple pie crisp recipe where you took canned apples but added dehydrated apples as well. Now I have 15 quarts of rhubarb cooling on my counter. Could I go ahead and dehydrate some of my strawberries, then add them to get the same result as you did with your apples? Yeah. That makes perfect sense. What I would do, slice and dehydrate the strawberries, and I believe I actually did that on video way back when. And then store your strawberries dry. Fill jars full of them. Put an oxygen absorber in or vacuum seal them if you want. But when you go to make your rhubarb strawberry pie, absolutely use the dried strawberries with your rhubarb, your canned rhubarb, and I believe you are onto something. Just make sure you use, if you're using a quart of your rhubarb, your canned rhubarb, make sure you use at least a pint of dried strawberries. Okay? Good idea. I have made my own chicken powdered bouillon a few weeks ago. My question for you is, how long will the powder last for in its dry state before it goes bad or rancid? Well, I'm going to tell you, if you make your broth powder like I do, where you cook the broth, then strain it, then chill it, and take all the fat off, then cook it down and dehydrate it, A, you should have some salt in there, and B, if you've taken all the fat off, there's no chance of that going rancid. My only precaution is after you've ground it, spread the powder out on your trays and dehydrate it some more until when you pinch the powder together in between your fingers, it doesn't clump. Then you know it's dry. So remove the fat, completely dry it. And I've had broth powder sitting on the back of my stove in a jar for a year. and never had a problem. So vacuum sealed, probably years and years. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, and someone asked me about my Bold and Sassy barbecue sauce. I should sell it. No, I shouldn't. Way too many regulations in Quebec for working with food. That's why I gave you guys the recipe, so you can make your own. But, oh, okay. Reusing commercial jars. Okay, now there's a lot of people that are going to give me flack over that, and there's a lot of people who are going to be grateful for that. I'm going to tell you this. If you don't like the idea of reusing a commercial jar, then don't. All I reuse commercial jars for is oven canning, jams and jellies, high acid things like barbecue sauce, even ketchup, and pickles. Now, the trick to that is make sure your jars are in good shape and that your lids are not deteriorating in any way when it comes to the inside of the ring, okay? And that they're not dented, bent, or scratched, or any of the linings missing. And yes, you can reuse them. Never, ever, ever for pressure canning, okay? So that's just my take on it. Oh, and my garden. Everybody's asking how my garden isn't in yet. It's going in next weekend, but I'm not putting in a huge garden this year because, well, Papa's tearing up the front to work on his addition. The addition is going to take this year and next year. However, the addition may take this year and next year, but we're hoping it'll all be closed in, just not finished on the inside for winter. All right, this is the Miss Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead saying we will talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.